Hello folks, welcome to Netcruzer RC. I'm going to give you a bit of an update this week on what hopefully is a Tamiya Tuesday if I'm uploading this on the proper day. We'll see if I can get that organized. So yes, a Tamiya Tuesday because I have started a new build. I am doing Steve O.D. 313's build off 10, and I'm doing the same car he is. So that's this guy, which is an amazing little race car, the Toyota Gazoo Racing TS050 hybrid based on the F103GT chassis. This is a direct drive vehicle, so there's no differential. It's just literally a motor onto a spur gear on axle, and even the suspension is very unique. It's really an F1 chassis that they've modified to allow running this type of a body, so it's more of a GT car. The build has been going on for a couple of weeks, and I've just been taking my time with it. I probably have about 4 to 5 hours into the build so far, and this is where we're at. The chassis is, I'm currently on step 13, I believe, in the instruction manual, and this is where we're at. Now, I had to pause on step 13 because I lost a part. You are meant to install the little pivot balls, the arms. There's a suspension ball that goes in the bottom arm and the top arms, and that's these guys here, and you're meant to just press fit them in with pliers from the bottom and then pull it up in. But I had one go flying away on me. Searched for hours for it, and it disappeared. So I had to stop the build. I've just got all the hardware here laid out to finish it. The chassis itself is pretty nearly complete. I mean, really, once I install the pivot balls on here, then I just need to add the axles. Yeah, you're just adding the wheels, the spur gear, and it's complete. Then the rest of the work is the body, and the body does need significant work. It is a two-piece design, and there's the modifications you have to make to the body mounts to make it work. The body is likely going to take me longer to build than the car itself, and that's fine. I'm in no rush to finish this because I can't even really race this. This is not really an official class that we run, although I was told that I might be able to run it with the F1 cars just to, to try out at some point. But I don't have the electronics to build this into a racing car, which would be brushless electronics and a 25.5 motor. I'm undecided what I'm going to put in this for a motor and a speed control, so I did skip over those steps. Those steps, they want you to do that very early on. I think it's almost like step 3. They want you to install the electronics. Yeah, on step 4, they want you to start prepping electronics, which is kind of crazy. So the very first thing you do is you build the battery tray, and then you're installing the motor mount. The servo. One annoying thing about this F103GT chassis is that you have to ruin a servo by cutting off the mounts. And that's because the servo sits in here in the middle like this, and you have to, and it's clammed in shell by this plastic parts that they give you as part of the servo mount. But in order for it to fit down in, you have to file these off. So I did break them off and then filed them down with a knife, and it works fine. But I just sacrificed a Traxxas 2075 servo, which I'm not too worried about. But if you had a good servo, in order to run it in this chassis, you would have to break all the tabs off, and it's just double-sided taped in place. The chassis itself is made out of what they call FRP, fiber reinforced plastic, I believe is what Tamiya calls it. And it's kind of a triple-decker design. So you have your battery tray, which runs laterally through the center here. You've got your lower deck, you've got your mid deck, and there's the upper mounting part too for the suspension. The suspension is pretty unique on this. One of the things that bothers me about Tamiya kits has been the use of the plastic bushings and friction shocks. Now this one, while it is a friction shock and it's extremely basic, it is dampened a bit by this, which is a friction plate that you build, and it's got a spring on it and adjustment tensioners, and then you lubricate this disc and it slides on this piece back and forth. And that's the suspension on this chassis, is as the rear end flexes, that's how the suspension works, which is pretty cool. And because it has this resistance and you're lubricating this disc, it does not feel like a friction shock. I'm sure that it would be fine actually to try just out on its own. It doesn't feel that bouncy. It's okay, but I do have an upgrade coming for that because I had to wait and pause to get the suspension pivot ball that I needed. I did place some upgrade parts, so let me show you what upgrade parts I have coming in. Just got all of this from rcjazz.com, and they're pretty good with Tamiya stuff. Shipping can be a little bit pricey sometimes, but they're very good with weights. So you deal with your weights, and then you can get shipping costs down. So I got some stuff from 3 Racing. This is the friction damper screw. This is the screw that goes through that little damper plate section. So it's going to be blue with a blue little thumb screw on top. I don't think that that is an actual functional change. That's just for appearance. This one here is going to be a functional change. This is a aluminum motor mount, so that's going to be a nice upgrade. It basically becomes a heat sink. That's what you mount your motor to, and stock one is just a plastic piece here. So this whole piece will be replaced with the aluminum piece. And then I also got some blue axles because they had them in stock and they were only a couple bucks. Wheel axle for F103GT in what looks like Tamiya blue, although the color's a little bit off. And then here's what I really needed. So I went for an upgrade for the suspension balls. These are the F104 low friction suspension ball set. This does work in this chassis, and here's the 2 sizes that you need, and these are now metal, probably with a low resistance coating on them as well. So the few balls that I did already put in this chassis, I now have to pop out of these arms and install this metal stuff. And then here's the piece that I was really excited about, although now after building the chassis, I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal. And I went for the TRF special damper for the F103GT. So if you've ever touched a TRF shock, you'll know that they're some of the smoothest. They have this amazing piston in them, which just is super silky smooth. And I'll fill this with oil, and it'll be a really, really nice shock. Those are the upgrade parts that I need to install. The motor mount, the pivot balls, the new shock, and the rest of it is just some added bling, some TRF blue bling. All right, so I'm going to continue on with this build, and then I'll probably check in a week or 2 when it is done. All right, guys, so I appreciate you for watching this video. If you want to leave a comment or hit that like button, that really does help the channel. It raises engagement, and it lets the algorithm, the almighty AI, share it out to more people, which brings more people to the channel and helps support us grow. All right, guys, if you enjoyed this video, hit that like button. If you're new around here, subscribe. If you want to talk to me, leave a comment down below. And as always, thanks for watching. Oh, one of the other really nice things I forgot to mention about this kit is this one does include full ball bearings, so you do not get any of those silly plastic little bushings. This one comes with full ball bearings in the kit. It also comes with a motor, a standard silver can motor, your wheels and your tires, and the body is pretty detailed as well. You do get some additional wing mirrors and stuff, servo saver wing mirrors, a bunch of decals, and here's the secondary parts of the body that you need to fill out as well.